like Peter's makes a tuna fish sandwich that I don't like.
Yeah,
and
it's wet.
Yeah.
And fishy.
Yeah.
In that kind of like, it's not cheap tuna. It's not the eyeball tuna.
Yeah, but it's still like somewhat oily and more mayonnaise in it than I want. I actually like a fairly dry tuna.
Yeah.
So yeah, I go okay. I'll back off.
Back off. Look, when it comes to Pete's.
Yeah.
There's a lot of food we eat there.
Yeah.
But they make a wet tuna sandwich.
They do make a wet tuna sandwich.
Does it move?
Eat it. Eat the whole.
Does it go? It was sweet, you know. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Nice close.
Really?
Oh. Oh.
That's definitely not happy birthday.
I wanted to talk as a big topic today about noticing change over time. Because that's something it's hard to do, actually. And like specifically like diet and body stuff. I tend to not notice changes in my body for like 6 weeks, and then like in 6 weeks I'll be like, oh, that's a muscle I didn't have before. Or like with the kids with my students, we do evaluations every month, and so it is actually a good time to take stock and be like, oh, last month they were crying every day, and this month they made 2 new friends. So like it's nice to see that progress.
We do it with our whole channel here. It seems like about every 6 months we totally change everything that we're doing.
Yeah, and I think every 6 weeks you and I have a big kind of conversation meeting of like, we are kind of doing something different than we were 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And actually, I thought of this as a topic because, okay, I was researching pillows because I hate all my pillows, and I keep buying them at the supermarket, which is maybe part of my problem. But like, I've been noticing my neck really hurts in the morning, and I just hate all my pillows. And I came upon this article because that's what I do is I research stuff.
Like pillows.
Like, how do you find a good pillow? And they're all like shopping guides, not like anything about the theory of a good pillow. But I guess the theory of a good pillow is that it feels good. And so you just have to get out there and test it. But so anyway.
That's what they say about bedding stuff, isn't it? When you're mattress shopping, you have to go lay in it.
That's why all those like internet companies now are like, keep it for 90 days and return it. Casper. If you want to advertise with us, we have needs.
See if they deliver it out here.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
We got our whatever. What would you call that? That memory
the mattress
foam.
Pad? Yeah. But that's a company based in China for expats.
But it's still specialty to expats, so it's
Chinese people wouldn't buy that.
Yeah, they might actually get mad and drown in it, just the way that like
when they Chinese beds are like as hard as you might expect a countertop to be. Maybe a little softer, but they're like pretty freaking hard.
I would imagine it would be like coming into our apartment and we have the heater on in the wintertime. Yeah. And people are just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
If they saw us like warm in pajamas in a puffy bed.
Yeah, and a soft, fluffy mattress. They do use pillows though, so I don't know why I'm having a problem with that.
The grocery store has lots of pillow section. They have like 2 whole aisles of various prices.
Yeah.
And
but
we've
they're
tried all the
like,
prices.
They're like too cheap, I think, to actually be good pillows.
We bought the one that has tea pockets in it.
Yeah. I liked that one actually. Yeah. That was kind of a fancier supermarket.
Might have been the best one so far.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go back to that supermarket if it's still around. But anyway, so in the research of like what makes a good pillow, I found this like Self magazine article or some woman's magazine that was like 30 things to buy to make your bedroom more cozy. And it was all links to Urban
With snide
affliction. Well, I mean like listicles have ruined journalism. And affiliate linking is as the only source of income for print journalism is like, that means that you get garbage as stories. But anyway, so
that's a different story. Tune in next week.
So anyway,
where we might buy a new microphone.
List of 50 things to buy for your bedroom, because that's how you make yourself happy, is to buy more stuff that would make your bedroom more cozy. And they did have from Urban Outfitters. There were a suspicious number of links to Urban Outfitters. I think that they had paid for this article. But there was Urban Outfitters had this like journal that was 1 sentence a day, and I really was intrigued by that as an idea. And you don't need a special journalist to do that. Just buy a notebook and write 1 sentence a day.
Are you supposed to report to the people that wrote this article about your journal 1 sentence a day, or just do this on your own, or?
No, yeah, you just buy the journal and write.
There's an article telling you to write articles to yourself?
I guess. No, it was just like an item. It was a thing you should buy, they said, to make your bedroom more cozy. But I was intrigued by that, and I was like, I don't need a special. I have like.
Don't you have like
a billion
30?
notebooks? So I just picked one of those, and that's my sentence a day journal. And that's interesting. I'm approaching it as like write a sentence that expresses the feeling of the day. So it doesn't necessarily have to be factual, but sometimes it is, and it doesn't have to reflect any special activity, although sometimes it does. It's just like a thought that I feel encapsulates that day. And I've been doing it for a month, and I can look through and see, because I used to journal a lot, and then I'll get in a habit of like writing pages and pages every night, and then just like forgetting about it.
How much did you do that professionally as a writer? Like, did you have one? I know like a lot of us songwriters in particular have a notebook for the songs that come to you in the night. Like when you had, did you have like articles in the night that would come to you of like, must look up that deli tomorrow morning?
Well, I do. I have a separate notebook for that. That I wouldn't consider my journal. But yeah, I have a bedside notebook that's for writing down ideas to think about in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally I'll get bothered by an idea so much that I'll have to like write it all out because it won't let me go to sleep otherwise.
Right.
But that's not journaling, that's writing.
Mm-hmm.
But what I like about this is, so it's low effort, but it also does give me a sense of like how my life has been going for the past month. And so it is like, I don't feel significantly different than I did 28 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I can look and see like, I don't know, just like what's been going on. So I like that. And I forget why. Oh, change over time. So I think like, originally I was like, maybe I can publish it at the end of the year. I don't think so, I'm gonna do that, but
you haven't liked the change that's going on so far?
No, but it's just more personal and less revelatory to another person, I think. But yeah, so I like that, and I like, you know, if I check in with myself today and check in with myself tomorrow, that's not going to be significantly different. I'm not going to feel that different. But if I check in with myself every day for a year, I feel like that might be interesting to see.
Certainly.
Yeah.
I would say like in the bigger scope of our journey here, so especially returning to like this restaurant, to what we'll refer to used to be Egg Bar and now is Long Pets.
Yeah.
that being a place that wasn't even like something that we recognized, but we didn't go there right when we first came. It was like 2 years, year and a half or something before we found it.
Yeah.
And then returning to it years and years later now, and noticing the change and the not change.
Right.
I think when we first got there, we were like, wow, look at us. We're out in the countryside. We're dodging goat parts. Like, this is exciting. Look at how much we've changed in so little amount of time. And now to return to like the same scene of the goat that all this time later, and being like, how much has changed, how much we've changed, how much has the city changed, the town changed, how much of the old men have changed but are still basically old men, like the weird mirrors of how things instantly but don't change. Put that in a notebook.
But yeah, so, and I think like it's weird with YouTube because the interface, it really pushes you to only consider what's happening in this moment. And especially like you should publish new things all the time now. and it does not encourage too much reflection, so that's something we do ourselves over our work.
Yeah, it's definitely set up for like you publish what you do now. It's going to be good for this week if you're lucky, and you basically hope for the next 24 hours that it's going to like push something to have any legs at all for the week.
Yeah.
So the idea that like you're making something that you're going to want to look back. I mean, that's not. I've seen other people that do it. There's one guy that I follow somewhere outside of Beijing, and he just like makes like vertical phone diaries throughout the day of just like him walking to the grocery store or walking to his classes or something. There's no production value to it all, and he's here teaching, and he hopes that he and his wife are going to retire to the Philippines and build a house. And he just puts them up whenever he feels like, because it's for him. At some point he's going to be in the Philippines hopefully, and just want to like look at this and be like, oh yeah, on October 22nd, that day this happened, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That seems like a far more useful use of the bandwidth than just having stuff that's constantly being tossed out like, this is good for 24 hours, throw it away.
Right, because there's value, incredible value in like recognizing the present moment, but to focus only on your present, to me, especially like in context of YouTube, that has the effect of your successes don't last and your failures feel like it will always be failure.
Yeah, and personally I feel like those successes are actually failures when they drop away like that.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially you're making the memoirs of your life, and if you look back at like through centuries or whatever, look to the 1800s when writers would put down their experiences of traveling or, you know, meeting people or working with other writers or whatever it is. If that was all like ads for sunglasses, like I mean, whatever, I'm sure there was ads back then that were being made, but like those all went on to the fire. But the adventures of people that were like, hey, look, I went on a trip, is what I'm looking for when I'm looking at those things on YouTube. Not like, I don't know, like, here's what this hotel costs, and if you go there on Tuesdays, you get a free shirt.
Right. Well, yeah, because that's not a journey.
Right.
If you're talking about how you feel today and how you feel tomorrow and how you feel the next day,
and it's great for service journalism.
That's a journey.
Of somebody,
that's a story.
Somebody that wants to go on that trip and takes the trip that you took, then like that's great. But
if you want hotel recommendations, sure.
Right. But get a job at Lonely Planet.
Yeah. I tried when I got out of high school and college. They said they weren't hiring.
I wonder how this has affected them, the service journalism YouTube
I think
world.
It's destroyed them.
I don't hear anyone talk about Lonely
I
Planet
think
anymore.
the way, well, the internet and YouTube, so TripAdvisor, I think, destroyed guidebooks, and then vloggers destroyed TripAdvisor, and the way they all make money now is by having you book hotels directly through them.
Through the YouTube trip.
Well, like, so TripAdvisor now, when you look up a site, they're like, you can book these hotels, book through us. Or Lonely Planet has its own booking system, like, book through us.
Right.
So I think, that business is entirely dependent on.
With weirdly, like, their comment sections on their websites are like 4 people from 5 years ago that said, like, I had a great egg there.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I'll stay there.
Or I won't.
Speaking of change over time. No, the internet.
Oh. Yeah.
And because I think the other thing is, like, the present moment always feels normal. Unless, like, something really extreme is happening.
Yeah, you hope it's normal.
Yeah.
Maybe you're living it at the
same time. If it doesn't feel normal, something's gone wrong. But it feels deceptively like it's always been this way. And so I think it's fun to notice, like, that it hasn't. And then especially if you're working towards a goal, like, that progress can keep you motivated.
I would imagine, like, we've always had nostalgia of, I remember as a kid, grandfathers sitting around going, like, back in the day.
You mean that humanity has always had nostalgia?
But there's so much of it now where we have, I was going to say, like, back in the day, always struck me as a kid of back in the day, like that must have been 3 million years ago. Like my granddad was fighting a dinosaur with a Popeye suit on or something like that. Whereas in back in the day, today means like back in 2017.
Right.
Remember when that app came out?
Right.
Our life changed.
Yeah, or I'm gonna use this app every day, and you use it for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, until you find out how annoying it is, and that somebody has stolen all your information off from it.
Yeah. Or I'm gonna go to this gym for the rest of my life. That was never gonna happen. I just like kind of hoped I would be the one. You always want to be the one to leave them.
Yeah.
No one wants to be dumped.
Even with something like Facebook, the amount of people that are on Facebook, but the amount of people that are even on Facebook that are saying I'll never go on Facebook is like, like once you have it integrated into the system, no matter how it changes, it's hard to get away from it. And I mean, every time YouTube even tries to not YouTube, but Facebook tries to like pop up like, remember when you joined 5 years ago? Here's a picture of you and your best buddy.
Yeah. And I never put photos on Facebook, so it keeps showing me like the same 3 photos I have. Do you remember this? I do.
Or a clip art sailboat or something like that. Hey Emily, you're great. But
you can't have my photos. Instagram has my photos.
Yeah. Go talk to Instagram. No, stop talking to Instagram.
Joke's on us. It's all owned by the same people.
But the thing is you can have a certain amount of control over that to do things like, I mean, it's interesting that you would come across an article that would tell you to go buy a piece of paper and a pen and do this, and not link to this app and write up your daily thoughts before you go to bed.
Oh yeah. Well, I think there was.
That's what kind of like I was like, really? Someone wrote an article to make an article?
Yeah.
This is fascinating to me.
Well, I'm like thinking through that. I think that app, because staring at an app is not good for your sleep.
Right. You think they put that into consideration?
And it's a different aesthetic of I want a cozy bedroom versus I want to optimize my life. I want to have my thoughts at the same time of day. I'll write them down. Like that's a different person.
Different than the one that wants to optimize their pillow?
Wow. Is there an app so I can optimize my pillow?
Not yet.
No, but
idea number 4.
From the one who wants to like buy a grown-up nightlight to project stars on their wall. Like that's not the same person who's like, my Fitbit says blah 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 blah. So I'm gonna drink 7 kilos of Soylent. That's too much.
If you get like a nightlight for your ceiling that like counts off the minutes like lambs, so you could like time yourself to bed.
We're gonna invent that. Coming soon.
Hello Foreigner. We'll be like Kiss. We'll just have like Hello Foreigner merchandise, coffins and pinball machines, and
just put Hello Foreigner. Or not here because we're called Not Here.
Yeah, depending on what the bigger brand at that point is. I mean, at some point, Gene Simmons has to decide: is this a Gene Simmons project or a Kiss project? Yeah. This is how I gauge all of my business deals. You'd think I'd have more money if I followed Gene Simmons's.
Yeah, you have no money.
Don't follow Kiss, kids.
Yeah, they're old. They just not change over time.
But
I guess they did.
But they're richer and richer. That's what changes about them.
And the lineup, they kicked 2 guys out, right?
So 2 guys are richer.
Do they like cycle through replacements, or they like replace?
The original 2 that were kicked out
they
were
like
both like total drug addict alcoholics, so they kept like screwing up royally.
Yeah.
So they kicked out / quit, depending on who you talk to, and then they would come back and they'd cycle between. They'd hire some new people. They'd get rid of them. Originally, they were putting in new guys with new makeup, so you'd have to like enter the band and come up with your own persona.
Right. And
that didn't really work out so well. So then, I think they just started dressing up new guys in the old guys' makeup because they own the rights to the face. But then the other guys come back. Then they get fired,
so it's not like a Pete Best got replaced by Ringo, and that was that.
Which I find the exciting part is that as they're about to retire in the next year or 2, they're on their retirement tour, that they might replace all of them It's like a 70-year-old Menudo.
Yeah, well, that's the again like the illusion of stability, but constant change.
Yeah, KISS, perfect example.
KISS, their mindfulness theory today. Yeah.